The Roman Empire is remembered for its architecture, law, and conquest. But behind the glory and grandeur lies a darker truth. Methods of punishment so cruel, so calculated, that they weren't just about justice, they were about fear. Today, we're uncovering the cruelest ways Romans punished their enemies and maintained control over an empire that stretched across continents. The stories we're about to explore are not just tales of pain, they're windows into the psychology of power, the spectacle of fear, and the human cost of authority in one of history's most remarkable empires. From the Colosseum to hidden chambers in the heart of Rome, punishment served a purpose beyond law. It was a tool for control. The Romans knew that fear could keep entire populations in check. Public displays, innovative devices, psychological torment, these were all carefully designed to assert dominance. Today, we'll look at the techniques, the logic behind them, and what they reveal about Roman society. This isn't a story for the faint of heart, but it's history at its most revealing. One of the most common ways Romans exercised control was through public humiliation. The idea was simple: make someone suffer in front of a crowd, and others would think twice about disobedience. Imagine standing in the Roman Forum, surrounded by thousands of people, as your dignity is stripped away in the name of law. Stocks and pillories were common instruments for petty crimes. The offender's hands and head were locked into wooden frames while crowds jeered. Signs declaring the offense were placed above them, ensuring that everyone knew why the person had been punished. But humiliation went beyond wooden stocks. For more severe crimes, Romans employed ritualized displays of shame. Criminals could be paraded through the streets in degrading costumes, sometimes naked, while being mocked and insulted. This wasn't just about the individual. It was about creating a climate of fear. Public disgrace became a tool to maintain order, a psychological weapon that punished the individual and warned the masses. The effectiveness of public humiliation lay in its simplicity. It required no complex machinery, yet it left a deep psychological mark on both victim and observer. In Roman society, reputation was everything, and the loss of face could be as terrifying as physical pain. While humiliation relied on the crowd, physical torture relied on Roman ingenuity. The empire developed various instruments and methods to enforce obedience and extract confessions, all carefully calibrated to maximize psychological impact. Scourging and flagellation. Scourging was a common punishment for slaves, criminals, and prisoners of war. Using whips, sometimes tipped with bone or metal, Romans would lash the victim repeatedly. While the goal was to cause pain, the underlying purpose was control and intimidation. Public lashings sent a clear message: resistance or disobedience had consequences. Scourging was more than physical pain. It was symbolic. Each strike reinforced the dominance of the state. It reminded everyone watching that power could inflict suffering without mercy. Confinement and the cage. Romans also understood the power of isolation. Small, cramped cages or cells were used to punish individuals, forcing them into discomfort and helplessness. The physical constraints were only part of the punishment. Mental anguish, fear, hopelessness, and uncertainty amplified the suffering. Prisoners often faced confinement without clear knowledge of when they would be released or what awaited them next. In an empire obsessed with order, uncertainty became a weapon. Forced labor under brutal conditions. Hard labor was another method of control. Prisoners, slaves, or captives were subjected to exhausting work in extreme conditions. The purpose was twofold: productivity and punishment. The grueling tasks, combined with poor food and harsh oversight, broke the spirit as much as the body. By engineering these forms of physical suffering, Romans reinforced their authority. Pain was systematic, and cruelty became a calculated instrument of governance. Public executions. The Romans understood spectacle. Their public executions were as much about sending a message as about punishment. The Colosseum and other arenas weren't just for gladiators. They were stages of state terror. Executions by beasts. Condemned criminals could be exposed to wild animals, often in a controlled arena, where the spectacle of death entertained the public and reinforced fear. While the scene is shocking by modern standards, it served a practical function, deterring crime and rebellion. Crucifixion and exposure. Crucifixion was one of the most notorious punishments reserved for the worst criminals and political enemies. Victims were displayed publicly, often for days, as a warning. Similarly, exposure, leaving someone helpless in a dangerous area, combined elements of public shame and physical danger. Political executions. Political dissenters faced punishments designed to instill terror. High-ranking individuals could be executed with elaborate ceremony, sometimes paraded through the streets beforehand. These acts sent a clear message, challenged the state, and consequences would follow. The psychological impact of public executions was immense. Witnesses were reminded that Roman power was absolute, and the consequences of defiance were immediate and brutal. Psychological torture. Not all Roman cruelty was physical. The empire was a master of psychological punishment. Fear could be as potent as any whip or cage. Threats and rumors. Political prisoners and dissidents were often subjected to threats, rumors, and false information. They never knew if they would be betrayed, released, or executed next. This constant uncertainty created mental strain that could break even the strongest minds. Forced confessions and intimidation. Courts and tribunals used intimidation to extract confessions. Accused individuals were sometimes coerced through fear of punishment, public shame, or harm to family members. The threat alone was a powerful tool to control behavior without the need for actual violence. Psychological torment extended beyond the individual. It sent a clear signal to society. Obedience and loyalty were paramount, and defiance could bring unexpected consequences. Legacy of Roman punishment. The cruelty of Rome did not end with the empire. Its methods influenced later civilizations, shaping ideas about law, punishment, and control. Public punishment, the psychology of fear, and the use of spectacle to maintain authority persisted for centuries. Romans demonstrated that cruelty could be systematized, efficient, and purposeful. Their techniques remind us that punishment is rarely random. It's a tool of power designed to maintain control and send messages to both individuals and society. The lessons from Rome extend beyond history. They reveal the intersection of human nature, governance, and fear. In every empire, the desire to control is often balanced with the use of spectacle, intimidation, and carefully calculated cruelty. The Romans left a legacy of law, engineering, and conquest, but also of fear, terror, and systematic punishment. By examining their methods, we understand not only their society, but the timeless mechanics of power. History teaches us that cruelty is often methodical, not chaotic. It's not just about pain, it's about sending messages, instilling fear, and ensuring obedience. And while we may judge these practices from a modern perspective, they reveal universal truths about control, authority, and human behavior. If there's one takeaway, It's this: understanding history means confronting its darkness. And in the cruelty of Rome, we see the lengths humans will go to maintain power. If you want to explore more of history's darkest stories, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Share in the comments which Roman method shocked you the most and why.